You know that moment when you check your bank account and instead of instantly closing the app, you actually smile? No more calculating if you can afford a coffee. No more ramen math at the end of the month. That shift is real. And it doesn't happen at $1 million. It doesn't even happen at six figures. It happens at exactly $20,000. And today I'm going to show you why. I'm Miller. I spend way too much time thinking about money, behavioral psychology, and why some people seem to build wealth almost effortlessly while others stay trapped in the same financial loop for decades. If you want to understand the real mechanics behind wealth, not the fantasy version, the actual one, subscribe. And if this video changes how you see money, hit the thumbs up. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Now, let's talk about invisible walls. Most people think wealth building is linear. Save more, invest more, get richer. But that's not how it actually works. There are financial thresholds, invisible walls. Cross one and the entire rule book changes. $20,000 is the first one. And most people have no idea it even exists. Think of it like pushing a massive boulder uphill. Getting it moving is pure pain. Every inch feels like it costs you everything. But once you build enough momentum and hit the top, it rolls down the other side by itself. $20,000 is that hill. Everything before it, you're fighting gravity. Everything after it, gravity fights for you. Here's where it gets really interesting, and this is probably going to surprise you. The real difference isn't just mathematical, it's neurological. When you have no savings, your brain runs on what psychologists call survival mode. Every single financial decision is filtered through fear. You take the first job offer because you can't afford to be picky. You stay in situations you hate because leaving feels too risky. You say yes to things you don't want because you need the money. It's like trying to plan a vacation while your house is on fire. You can't think about the future when the present is threatening to collapse. But cross that $20,000 line, something switches. Vanguard research found that just $2,000 in emergency savings increases financial well-being by 21%. $2,000, less than a laptop. But it moves you out of survival mode. Push that to a full 3 to 6 month emergency fund, which for most people lands around $20,000, and you get another 13% boost. But more importantly, your brain finally has the bandwidth to think about wealth building, not just wealth surviving. Now let's talk math, because this is where it gets almost unfair. Imagine you're saving $1,000 a month and earning an 8% annual return. Getting to your first $20,000 takes about 19 months. That's a year and a half of real discipline. Most people quit somewhere in that stretch. But here's what nobody tells you about your second $20,000. It only takes 17 months. Same savings rate, same investments, same risk. 2 full months faster, just because the first $20,000 is now working alongside you. By the time you're chasing your third milestone, the timeline shrinks again. And when you eventually reach $400,000, you generate a new $20,000 every 5 months. On autopilot. The same amount that took you nearly 2 years to save the first time is now showing up automatically every 5 months while you sleep. A 10% return on $2,000 is $200. Nice, but forgettable. A 10% return on $20,000 is $2,000. That's rent. That's a flight. That's real money that changed your actual life. Here's something most personal finance channels never talk about. What $20,000 does to your career. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're trapped. Your boss is terrible? Can't leave? The work is soul-crushing? Still can't leave. They ask you to work weekends for free? You say yes because you need that next check. You are negotiating from desperation. And everyone around you can feel it, but $20,000 gives you what I call walking away money. You could quit tomorrow and be fine for months while you find something better. You probably won't. But knowing you could? That changes everything. You start asking for the raise you've been owed. You push back on unreasonable demands. You explore opportunities you used to scroll past. And here's the wild part. You often don't even need to use the money. Just having it changes your entire energy at work. You become more confident, more assertive, more strategic. People notice. And people who get noticed get promoted. More confidence leads to better opportunities. Better opportunities lead to more wealth. More wealth gives you more options. It's a loop that compounds just like your investments. Now let's talk about the biggest mistake I see at this stage. Because this is where most people destroy their progress. They hit $20,000, feel that psychological shift, and immediately spend it. New car, expensive vacation, down payment on a house they can't really afford. Do not do this. That $20,000 is not a reward. It is not a trophy. It is the seed. And the seed only works if you let it grow. Consider this. The average person spends somewhere between $600 and $800 a month on their car. Payments, insurance, gas, maintenance. Over 40 years, that's $400,000 or more just to get from A to B. Meanwhile, they're telling you they can't save for retirement. A new car loses 20% of its value the moment you drive off the lot. You're not buying a car. You're buying the feeling of looking wealthy. Here's the reframe. That $30,000 car isn't $30,000. It's $200,000, what it would have become in your portfolio over 20 years. The person driving the flashy lease is stressed. The person driving the reliable used Honda is quietly building wealth and sleeping well at night. Here's the most underrated thing about saving $20,000. It's not just about the money. Think about what it actually takes to get there. You tracked every dollar. You said no, a lot. You resisted 100 shiny distractions. You did that consistently for over a year. You proved to yourself that you can control money instead of letting it control you. That's not a financial skill. That's a character skill. And it follows you everywhere. After $20,000, you stop obsessing about the $3 coffee and start optimizing the $1,200 rent. You start filtering decisions through opportunity cost, not just price. You start asking, what am I actually trading for this? And that question changes everything. $20,000 won't make you rich overnight. But it will fundamentally change how you think, how you work, and what opportunities you can even see. It's the difference between surviving money and designing your life with it. Start building that foundation today. Not next month, not when you get a raise. Today. Your future self is counting on the decision you make right now. And trust me, they will thank you. If this video showed you something you didn't know before, subscribe. I break down the real mechanics of wealth every single week. And drop a comment. Where are you in the journey right now? I read everything.